Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for another video. In today's video, let's take a look at Arweave and see where we can land with a price target for the 2024-2025 bull run. But before we dive on into this, as always, this is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research. I am not a financial advisor, and while I appreciate that so many of you are hopping in from all over the place, you've got to hit that subscribe button. I am making new price target videos every day, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, United States, on the dot, and you're not going to want to miss a thing. I make multiple videos every day, and while you're hitting the subscribe button, turn on that notifications button as well so that you don't miss a thing, as I try to keep up as much as possible, to try to help you keep up as much as possible with this rapidly evolving crypto space. So Arweave, storage, data, very important cryptocurrency, or at least the whole system in regards to certain things that they are trying to do. We can see that Arweave did exist in 2021, had a nice bull run, got up to $90 or so. It was a little under $90 was its peak in November of 2021, has gotten as low as $3 in the bear market, is currently sitting at $8.64. There are some things that I'm looking at here on this slide that I would want to point you out to, especially as we're going to compare Arweave to Filecoin. So Filecoin and Arweave, are they comparable? We'll get into that in a second. But here's the big thing I want to point out. Circulating supply, 65 million Arweave AR tokens in circulation. Max supply, 66 million. We are 99.1% diluted. So there's a question you've got to ask yourself as you see, all right, we're not going to have to worry about inflation nearly as much with Arweave as we're going to have to worry about with other cryptocurrencies. But still, how are they making money? How are they incentivizing? This is a proof of work cryptocurrency. So how are they incentivizing miners? How are they protecting their network? All of that. Those are questions you're going to have to ask, which we'll address. But again, I would very much prefer a cryptocurrency lower on the inflation end, like Arweave, than what we're going to see with Filecoin. And so there are a lot of comparisons with Filecoin and Arweave, and they are really just, they're trying to do two totally different things. I get questions all the time. Would you prefer Arweave or Filecoin? Well, my answer is very much Arweave, and I'll show you why in a second. But when I'm asked that question, it's really like, would I prefer Airbnb or something that would preserve things for a really long time? I know that might be confusing, but you've got to understand, Arweave is trying to preserve the internet. And so I was trying to think of something. I saw a comparison to the Library of Alexandria, which, you know, that doesn't quite work because the Library of Alexandria doesn't, we've lost a lot of information from the Library of Alexandria. But here's preservatives, okay? When you think Arweave, think preservation. When you think Filecoin, think storage rental. I mean, that's a huge difference between the two of those. So Filecoin, Airbnb, Arweave, your grandmother, your Aunt Betty trying to preserve foods to make them last a long time. Arweave is in the business of preserving the internet. The big thing that you'll find as you do research on Arweave is that what you'll see is 95% of things posted on the internet 20 years ago, which I was on the internet 20 years ago. Okay, 95% of things posted on the internet 20 years ago are gone forever. I've tried, I've posted things on Facebook and tried to revisit those things, all these years later as they show up in my timeline and everything like that. And they're gone. I click on the links, the information's gone. And so Arweave is preserving that. That is not anywhere near what Filecoin is trying to do. FYI. But if we're going to compare Arweave to Filecoin, well, here's a big comparison. Filecoin, 500 million coins in circulation right now. When they peaked in 2021, they had 50 million. There are 10 times more Filecoin in circulation right now than when they peaked in 2021. Filecoin is the worst cryptocurrency in the top 50 when it comes to their tokenomics. Filecoin peaked at $175 in 2021. If it gets to $30 this time around, that's a big if, and I like Filecoin fundamentally, but if they get to $30 this time around, they will have put in a new all-time high. If they get to $20 this time around, it's still increasing their supply. If they get to $20, they will have hit a new all-time high in market cap. So just on that alone, yeah, I prefer Arweave, which When it peaked in 2021, had 50 million tokens in circulation. Right now, they have 65 million, peak of 66 million. I'll take that for sure. So we've got to ask the question, how is the AR token used? Because again, I've talked about this a lot on this channel. Circulation, not just circulation, but how is the cryptocurrency used? Is it used as access for the general public, for myself, for you, in ways that we're going to see this cryptocurrency go up? Or is the price going to go up just because euphoria is going to return and this is going to benefit from that? So, all right, let me read this. When Arweave's Genesis block was mined, 55 million AR tokens were created, and an additional 11 million tokens will be introduced, have already been introduced into circulation as mining rewards. To store data in the block Weave, you must pay fees in AR tokens. Arweave miners receive these tokens in exchange for mining new blocks, which obligates them to store data. However, transaction fees do not go entirely to miners. The majority of the transaction fees is allocated to a storage endowment. I don't need to read the rest. Here's what I'm paying attention to here. People who want to use Arweave, to use their block Weave, they have to pay miners in the AR token. So how many of you watching this video are going to be using this system? I would guess that a large majority of you will not. Maybe even 99% of you are never going to touch an AR token in order to use it for storing data. Maybe one day this is going to be a big thing, but this is the kind of thing that I think is going to grow slowly over time, and maybe it is a gradually then suddenly kind of thing. But right now we're still very much in the growth stage. And so really, I don't think the general public is going to be using this token. They're going to be buying it as a short-term investment, hoping to make whatever X gains. I'm seeing promises of 52X, of 100X with this cryptocurrency. Is that realistic? We'll get to that in a second. This is not an access cryptocurrency. This is not something that you are going to be using that cryptocurrency to take advantage of their services, most of you. So, with that in mind, market cap dominance. Market cap dominance peaked at 0.15% in 2021. It is currently at 0.04%. Considering the fact that this is not a gateway token, not a thing that you are going to use to access their system or to gain access to other things, I don't believe that this is going to put in a new all-time high in market cap dominance. So what does that mean? Why? Well, there's a lot more available. There are a lot more newer things, a lot more things that people are getting really excited about this time around. This is not the kind of thing that's going to benefit big time from major hype. And something that would benefit it is if people are using the token for the services that they provide. That's not happening with this. People will gravitate towards new and sexy, or towards meme coins, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, whatever. They're not going to gravitate to this when there are many more new offerings, things that they would say have a much higher chance of doing a 100x. So not 0.15%. Where I land is still more than double of where its market cap dominance is today, which is 0.1%. And so 0.1% market cap dominance is assuming a 7 trillion total one market cap. That gives us a peak of $7 billion in its market cap. That is a new all-time high. That's pretty decently beyond its previous all-time high. So the circulating supply estimate of 66 million tokens, 7 billion divided by 66 million gives us a price of $106.06. That's a little bit above its previous all-time high. Why would it do a 2x from its previous all-time high or a 3x? Is it because the crypto market's doing a 2x or 3x? Sure, you can make that argument that, and maybe this price target's too conservative. But again, lots more offerings this time around, lots more newer, lots more exciting. I think people will gravitate towards the new and exciting over something that's building more slowly over time. That's just my opinion. Maybe it's too conservative. Maybe it's even too aggressive. But I would love to know your thoughts. Where do you think the AR token is going to land? Is this price way too conservative? I'm a moon boy, whatever you want to call me. Let me know in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.